This is the town of Samos that I'm approaching, with a very interesting large building. It's got to be church related, of course. Well, I'm guessing it's a monastery or a convent of some sort. May now be a university or school, since I think it was Salazar took them all over in 19 something or other and disbanded them, or 1800 or something. Well, it's impressive. It's also not open. You can see from the yellow arrows down there and the one right here that this is the bike route. So this is freshly made, so we'll see how this tastes. Hopefully it really... So I'll put my finger up here and that'll give us an idea of the size of the pieces of potato. And then there's the egg omelet. So I assume we just make a simple egg omelet, throw a bunch of potatoes in, put it in a pan where it can have that depth, and then here's this pretty river leading through that little bridge. Runs alongside this monastery. I'm guessing that this used to function as a water source for the monastery. It's broken down there, so it doesn't work that way, but a kind of an aqueduct, if you will. Again, an impressive layout, particularly as seen from above, that large internal square that I won't get to see because I don't tend to pay to go in and see it. I'm now in search of a grocery store. I think this is the layout in 1835 of the various kinds of botanical plants grown as part of a pharmacy, if you will. Notice aloe, or however you pronounce that there. Can you imagine the years way in the past when the occupants of this monastery tilled these lands for God? What the reasons were that people came here to live, to spend their life in the service of their God. Just wonder what that beehive-like sculpture structure is and was for. I'm guessing that there used to be doorways here. You can see this old archway, and that probably the grade for the sidewalk was 2 or 3 feet lower. It seems fairly obvious that at one point in time this portion to the left was added, overlaying that arch. My bet is that used to be stained glass, but then was... So far, as long as nobody shows up, I have this 7-bed hostel, or dorm, to myself. And here's my view, looking at the monastery. And out the other window, very pretty place. Here's another bunk bed design. Notice they use relatively small timbers. This is probably about 2.5 inches by 2.5 inch timber. They have a dowel in here. You can see it maybe right through there. It's right there. And then they have a screw that goes through and ties into here. That's how they make that connection. And this is just this piece here, plus its companion piece of hardware to hold these relatively modest, I'd say 3/4 of an inch by maybe 3 inch timber. These are only about 4 inch by 3/4 inch. These pieces here are fine, same as that, 3/4 inch, 3 inch. This looks like it has a cap on top for some reason. Don't know why. This is too elaborate, but I think something, either whether horizontal is necessary or whether just a vertical slat here would be good. I don't know. It's with dowels in them. The hole, you can see it's about a 1/2 inch hole. From Samos, about a half a kilometer outside of the town, if that far. From there all the way to this town, there are no signs, no arrows pointing along the highway confirming that you're on the right route. There's one big sign that has nothing on it. You just presume that's the highway that tells drivers that they're on the Camino. And then finally here, back behind me about a couple hundred yards, is a sign with an arrow on it. And tomorrow I go to Sarria, maybe spend the night there and go up to Lugo for the day and then come back. However that works out. Maybe 2 nights, maybe 1 night. Don't. I'm guessing the sign says something like the county of Sarria, which is where I'm going, is Sarria, wherever that is. So far this morning's walk of about 2 hours, there have been exactly 2 signs, period. I think this is the city hall.